New hairstyle. Hey, hey. So, first of all, thank you for coming. It's Stephanie, owner of Hair by Connie. Hey, hey, hey. How are you? Stick with me. Okay, so our hairstyle today, we did a very super easy DIY. Hey, girl. Super easy DIY individual braids. I mean, if you don't know how to braid, this is super easy. Definitely check out my YouTube because I just put the tutorial up. It'll be here sooner than later, but super easy. I wanted some braids. I didn't want to deal with it, and I did this in less than an hour, and I'm not even a braider. So, topic of discussion today is the prices of lace fronts are going up. Okay, we got word from the desk from our manufacturers all over Southeast Asia, and because of everything that's happening with Corona, everything that's happening with production supply, factories being open, factories may not be open at full capacity. Um, Thank you. Let me turn my music down. Um, because of that, um, prices have gone up. So the biggest thing, which I didn't really know, I knew that North Korea did source hair. You know, they do a lot of factories will outsource to North Korea when it comes to lace fronts, anything to do with lace. So your frontals, your closures, your 360-degree wigs. Well, as of now, North Korea has closed its borders to the world. So you know what that means. If we were making your lace fronts before, then that means that you're going to have to find another provider, which means that you're probably not going to get it for the same price that you had it before. So, with that said, I just want to let you guys know, especially if you are business owners, hair retailers, it's always good to diversify your manufacturers because of instances like these. I mean, you never really know when your factory could stop producing, or when this information goes out, you have some tycoon in the hair industry that's going to do what? They're going to go and buy as much as they can, so that they know that they have stock and they don't run out until it's time to make more. And so if you are lower on the food chain when it comes to business, right? Small business. I work with a lot of small business hair retailers who don't buy so much so often. They can be, they will be affected because they may not be able to now compete with the higher price, and they may not be able to just even buy right now. So it's very impactful. So I want to go ahead and um, look at some of the statistics, some information that's going on. Let's see. Okay. Now, why is it dealing with lace products? Well, first, because of the COVID pandemic, Korea Customs closed in January, but now they're like officially super closed. So before, when it was January, February, everyone was trying to figure out Corona, how much it was going to spread around the world, where it was going to spread, who was going to be able to control it. Um, Factories didn't really close. And if you have been through SARS before as a business owner, or if you have been through a huge pandemic before as a business owner, you probably had some foresight in terms of, let's think ahead in terms of our manufacturing supply. Let's think ahead in terms of our demand, if we will be able to do that, and how much we need to keep here ready. I mean, I think the people who can truly win right now when it comes to lace products are the people who can make it themselves. As you know, lace fronts and frontals usually cost more because it's just tedious work. It can take a couple weeks to make one solid lace front, right? You're strand by strand putting that hair in. So before in Korea, one lady in one day can make one 4x4 closure or one 2x6 closure. Okay. What is a closure? Let me pull one out for you. Excuse me. Hang tight, people. Perfect. Okay. This is a closure. Straight out the pack. Popping hot. All right. I'm going to show you. Now, this is going to take, according to this that I just got from a manufacturer, one lady, one day. Okay. This is a 4x4, right? As you can see, you got the hair. I've seen this being constructed in person. It takes strand by strand to put this closure here. This is just the closure. This is just this piece of hair, right? Not the frontal. The frontal is like 3 times this size. The frontal goes from your ear to your ear. And then the third level is the 360 closure. The 360 closure is your whole head wrapped around. So I'm just going to say, for simple math's sake, if it takes one lady one day to make this, and then the closure, the frontal is 3 times this size about, then it's going to take that one lady 3 days. And I'm guessing this is a lady who knows what she's doing, she's experienced, not somebody that's just starting. And then the 360 is pretty much twice the size of a frontal. So if it's going to take one lady 2 days to make one frontal, then it's going to take one lady 4 days to make one 360-degree closure. Now, let's think about this logically. That's an experienced woman in Korea at the factory making it. Now, Korea says, hey, we're closed now. There's nothing that can be shipped in or shipped out, so you're on your own. Now, all of a sudden, you've got to make it. Now, it's not that you can't make it. You can do anything, but do you have the proper materials? If not, you're going to have to find another source. Now, the deal with lace. Let's bring it back. Lace, really good lace in the hair industry comes from Europe. So already, before the Chinese kind of took over and started making, the lace in like huge quantities, it was coming from Europe. So you were paying that extra price just to get it flown from Europe to China or wherever else in Southeast Asia or Asia. And then they were making it. Now they have to pay for that on top of paying their factory workers. Now, okay, you have your lace. Now what are you going to do? How experienced are your workers? If your workers are not that experienced, you're going to have to take time to train them, which probably means more money and more time, which is going to, in the long run, help you because you'll be able to supply your own demand. But at the beginning, it's going to take more money and it's going to take more time. So a lot of people have been reaching out to me like, hey, Steph, what's going on over there? Can you help me find a factory that can provide a shortage because my factory says that it's out. Now, I come back with this question. Sure, I can help you, but are you sure you're working with the factory? Because sometimes you weren't working with the factory to begin with. You were working with the vendor. And so the vendor can't really supply a huge demand unless they can get it. And then at the same time, yes, there are different scales of factories. Some are smaller scale, some are larger scale, but they kind of work in a unit. That means that if one factory doesn't have, then after they run out, they'll probably bulk buy from another factory. So you might have to wait. They'll probably put an extra price on it. So it just all boils down to more time and more money right now for anything that's dealing with lace. Okay, so one lady in 3 days, it says, can make one piece of 13 by 4 frontal or one 13 by 6 frontal. And if it's by 45, 45 is the 360, that's by 3 days. So a lot of factories in China were like, yeah, we can do it now. We have to do it now. We don't have any choice. But a lot of them were doing it before. But this kind of exposes that they were getting a lot of their lace frontals, closures, and 360s from North Korea, which I did not know because a lot of times many of these countries they'll provide their hair and then they will ship that hair to China to be finalized, because China makes a lot of the raw materials outside of hair. They do make the lace. They do make the I-tip applications, U-tip. They do make the micro bead, micro loop applications. They make the tape-in applications. So, I've heard on both sides. Some girls like, I don't buy from China. I don't buy hair from China. You might be buying Indian hair, but sis, guess what? Okay. Some of that hair might be finalized in China. So wherever the hair is going, wherever it's coming from, I'm so glad you're learning a lot, sis. Just double check, make sure. And so in our other video, when we talked about how to find a factory and make sure that you're working with a factory versus a vendor, you have to ask, what is the maximum capacity that you can make a month? Okay. How many bundles can you make for me a month? How much hair are you selling a month? Because these volumes can answer whether they can handle shortages like now or whether they can't. Okay. Perfect example. Some factories only produce natural colored hair, and some factories are really good at making colors. So for a couple factories that I know that are really good with colors, since they deal with just colored hair, they may not have so much hair on hand. They might have to get blonde hair from other people or natural hair from other people, and then when it gets to their factory, it's game on with what other color you want. So when I was asking them questions, how much can you provide, I saw that the number was almost half of what a lot of the factories that provide natural colors primarily provide. So on average, it's very common for a huge manufacturer to say that they provide 1 ton of hair. Okay, 1 ton of hair. That's a lot of hair. And if your factory says that they can produce half of that, okay, because that's decent, because factories are small scale, mid scale. Some of them are like in between other factories doing things. Like I said before, this factory may have this bad hair, but bad meaning good. They might have some really awesome hair, but it's like we gotta wait for it to be produced fully in China because they have all the applications. I mean, that's just what it was. When I last was in the Philippines, that's what the factory owner shared with me in terms of, she was like, we are not where we are right now when it comes to all of the other applications. So for now, while we're training, and we don't really want to waste that money and provide those orders for our customers to be dissatisfied, we're going to let China handle that. And China has kind of, through the years, said, instead of shipping all of this hair to China to be shipped back to you, why don't we just go to these countries and set up factories? So again, for the people that say, I don't buy Chinese hair, I got my hair from India, are you sure? It's like, you really have to do research, because a lot of times you may not know. And I know for a lot of people, they don't really care, but for a lot of people, they do care. And that's me. I like to be educated with all types of business, especially the business that I'm selling, especially the business that I'm involved in. But, you know, as a hair seller, as a hair company, that's important to me. And I think that my clients appreciate that because it's like, wow, your eyes on the ground. You really know what's going on. You really know what's happening. So I just like to share that information so that you can be more informed, and then you can turn around and ask these questions so that they know that you know what's going on. Okay, so now I gave you the stats for Korea in terms of what they can make. So now Chinese companies, they hit me back with one lady can make one 4x4 closure or 2x6 closure in 1.5 days. So that's like half a day more than what it was in Korea. So now I'm going to spend more time with Chinese than with Koreans, just off of the information that they sent. And on top of that, excuse me, they're going to increase it by, I think this says, it says $20, but I think the dollar sign might be for Kwai or RMB, renminbi. But prices, of course, depend on your manufacturer. They depend on the quality of hair. So talk to them about that. Ask them how much are they going to increase their hair by, but also ask them if you buy a certain amount, can that be decreased? Now, I can't do everything. I have some factories that do some of this, some of that, depending on what I need, depending on what my clients need, because my clients own their own businesses as well, hair businesses. But because of the volume of business that I do, some of my manufacturers have said, we're going to keep the amount the same for you because, again, when you buy big, you can negotiate more for yourself. That's just a key in business anyway. Everything's negotiable. And of course, the more you buy, the more buying power you have. But if you are just buying piece by piece, lot by lot, you'll probably take a hit in that cost increase. So prepare for that. You might have to now change your prices on your wholesale, your retail, on your website, but let your clients know, maybe send an email and alert them so that they aren't deterred from buying from you because, oh my gosh, you raise your prices. Why? I don't understand. So, this is just kind of like chain effects. If it's going to cost more for the supplier, manufacturer to make something, ship it, and deliver it, then you're going to eat that cost. And then in turn, your client is going to eat that cost. So however you need to do it, whether you need to let them know in an email, just notify. I know as, a consumer, I like to be notified. I like to know that, these are the reasons why the price is going up. I mean, because I'm going to ask, people are going to ask, and if you have a really good answer for them, a justifiable answer, then it's like, you know what, I understand that. You can still get my business, but if you don't say anything, they might just go away. And we don't need that right now. We need our customers to come back, okay? Because that's how we build our empires, all right? Moving on. It says now, one lady, it'll take 4 days to make, in China, 4 days to make a 13x4 frontal or a 13x6 frontal. That's a day extra. So for the closures, the smaller pieces of hair, it was half a day extra. And for the larger pieces of hair with lace, it's a whole day extra. So again, let your clients know what's going on. Tell them that the price has increased because of supplier needs. Also, that the timing has increased. When Corona was fresh, because it's still here. I can't say when it was here, but when it was really fresh, now all of a sudden the borders, especially when it came to shipping, they were freaking out. There were some people who, of course, if manufacturing and production is down, shipping is down. But the process was very, very rigorous, more rigorous than usual. Um, you had to ship certain items, and these items had to go through, the routine check of paperwork, stamps and approvals from the manufacturers. For instance, masks. When I talk to my friends and say, hey, can you send a couple masks? It's like that might get checked at DHL. Now you cannot just be a company selling masks abroad without being an official mask company, an official certified company that makes masks. Like, not a company that, is making flowers and then you just decided because it's the pandemic, we're going to sell masks. They've been checking because there have been some reports in the news that I guess because of the trade war, the U.S. is trying to say that China's trying to sabotage vaccines for corona and different type of preventative tools and supplies. So security, border patrol is like, we've got to check everything. We got to make sure that it's coming from someone who can officially and legally make and produce and sell these things, but we've also got to make sure that it's not contaminated, and we've also got to make sure that it's going where it says that it's going. There's just so much going on, and there's a lot that we don't even really know. So take that to the hair business. It's kind of the same. Any industry, really. Border Patrol is really up because they're trying to stop the spread of the coronavirus. And on top of that, I'm sure there's so much scam that's going on with people selling things. So you just have to keep that in mind. So if you just take a deep breath and, talk to your manufacturers, let them know what's going on, or ask them what's going on, you can let your clients know what's going on. But always stay informed. Read the news, know what's going on. I mean, Lebanon, Beirut just had a bomb attack. So now the areas surrounding there have to worry about whether shipping going in and out is terrorism. It's so much going on. So just stay abreast and stay in the know. So when you know, your clients know. Okay, so prices going up on lace frontals, closures, 360. So yeah, just try to always diversify your suppliers. When I first went to China, I just had this fantasy that I would find this super perfect, magical, one-stop shop hair factory to hey girl, to supply all of my needs. But as I was getting more orders and visiting more factories, I saw that just wasn't possible, because even if this one factory is creating all of this good juiciness that you need, there could be a shortage. They can just run out. It doesn't even have to deal with the pandemic. Sometimes that just happens. We've run out of supply. We have to wait. If there's a war that's happening, as you can see, China and India and the U.S. are having their trade war. There's a huge tariff on lots of imports, lots of exports. So again, prices have gone up. So it's kind of like, dang, it sucks, but it's business. It's not the first time these things have happened. So if this is your first time experiencing this, just take notes. Take notes of the way your business ebbs and flows. What was the reaction from your clients? Were you able to sell? And through this whole pandemic, you've seen people use terms like pivoting. Pivoting means to turn or to change, right? You have to make these changes because maybe what you were doing before Corona can't sustain right now. You might have to pick up some other products, or you just have to have some factories on hand. And for the people who are first experiencing this, or just don't really know so much the way that their business works in the background, all the way from production, now is the time. Make these notes so that you're in the know just in case this happens again with any and everything. This is definitely a learning lesson for me in many ways. However, just me having so much information and knowledge and being on the grounds and all the homework I've done from then until now, I was asking these questions as soon as. I remember I could buy a box of N95 filtered masks. I think I bought like 60 for about $5. Okay, $5. And then when Corona hit, each mask was damn near $6. I was like, what? Okay, so I knew from then, if this is just these masks that are going up, everything's gonna go up. So they also left a little note that says if Korea border customs cannot open the whole year, prices will rise even more. So you will have to watch the news. Unfortunately, if listening to Trump or Kim Jong-un is not your favorite thing to do, you're going to have to stay abreast with what's going on so that you know what moves that you can make. If you have any questions, please feel free. If you need more factories in the pot, please feel free to hit me up. It's not just about giving you vendors. It's about creating these relationships. I do it all of the time. I know factories. I know you manufacturers personally. We've sat down together, had tea, crumpets, whatever, broken bread. So I'm giving you sure certified people who are afloat in this time. They're not just out here struggling, trying to make a sale. So any more questions, hit us up right here on Instagram. You can follow us. Hit that follow button. This is also going on my YouTube. If you want to watch that there, share, spread the word to all of your hair and beauty retailers. Let them know what's up. You can follow me, subscribe, like, and share. And don't forget to sign up on our website. Our current promotions right now, we still have our buy one, get one with 50% off. We also still have our bob sale, and we also have our, if you buy 3 or more pieces of hair in terms of your bundles and your frontal or your closure, we will sew your wig for free. Don't worry, ain't no shortage over here. We got you. Okay? So I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope you're not down by the news that I told you. I hope that this makes you want to be even more prepared, because that's what you got to do in this climate. You just have to look at the bad, and you have to plan and prepare so that you come out on top. All right, so thank you guys for joining me. I hope this was useful, and I hope that this was educational. Show me some love in the comments. Let me know what's up. All right, guys. See you next Tuesday with some natural hair tips. Bye.